delight. Hey, everybody, we're back with the executive producer of the new documentary From Russia with Lev, Rachel Maddow. One thing that we've seen this year, again, that is also unprecedented as far as I know, is the enormous support publicly that Harris has gotten from Republicans.
Yeah.
In previous administrations.
Yeah.
That's heartening.
It's unusual, too. I mean, to have...
And that's a sign of desperation, actually. Because we are a partisan country.
Yeah.
And people do pick their own teams, and people tend not to leave their teams, but people are endorsing her in droves who used to be members of previous Republican cabinets. And it has to be like no other choice but to do this.
Well, we've got lots of Republicans for Harris. That's a thing, Republicans for Harris. You've got lots of retired flag officers from the military, so senior officers in the military endorsing the Democratic candidate, endorsing Harris. There was a group of Reagan administration officials who just a few days ago endorsed Harris. So you definitely have the staff of Scientific American, for the second time in the history of Scientific American, just made a presidential endorsement and they endorsed Harris. So you're seeing sort of not your typical endorsements. You're seeing what I think is a very, very broad Harris coalition. I mean, a coalition that includes like Dick Cheney and AOC is a big coalition. Like, most Americans see themselves somewhere between AOC and Dick Cheney.
Right.
And if you are between AOC and Dick Cheney on the number line, you're in the Harris coalition.
Wow.
And if you like J.D. Vance, you're in the Trump coalition.
Yeah, that's a big tent. That's a big tent.
Different size tent.
And he's the clown.
Yeah.
Okay, you're one of our best explainers. I've said it many times. Can you explain to me what the value is for the Trump campaign, Trump, J.D. Vance, and also their surrogates, continuing to cling to this completely made-up, discredited, racist story about Haitians stealing and eating dogs and cats in one town in Ohio, Springfield, Ohio, when they're not illegal. They call them illegal. They're not. They're there legally. They're working. There have been no reports of this. And the governor, the Republican governor of Ohio, has said, stop it. It's not true. We want these people.
And the Republican mayor of that city says, stop it. It's not true. It's not happening.
What's the value for Trump to continue this?
I think there's two things. First of all, I think it's helpful to note that this is a recurring racist urban legend that happens every few decades. Like from the late 1970s through the late 1980s, there were multiple instances of refugees eating dogs and cats, urban legends, fake stories about Southeast Asian refugees. They've used this against Haitians before. They've used this against Indonesians. They've used this against Southeast Asians. They've used this against refugees. It's just a racist urban legend that gets regurgitated every few years whenever Klan-type groups like it. And in fact, in this case, in the Springfield, Ohio example, there's a Nazi group that literally parades, and I don't say Nazi just like as an epithet, they parade carrying swastika flags, which they did in Springfield, Ohio last month, August 10th, and they have been promulgating this old urban legend about that group of immigrants in Springfield, just like Klan groups and Nazi groups always do.
Oh, so they're taking their cues from the Nazis.
Yes. The Trump-Vance campaign is taking their cues from a literal Nazi group that started this thing in Springfield. And that's, tells you all you need.
Where do you find the courage to boo Nazis?
But you know,
Yes.
the other part of this, I think, is like a hallmark of the Trump era. All politicians are good at changing the subject when they need to. If the topic of conversation in politics is something that doesn't portray that isn't what that politician wants to be talked about, all politicians, good guys and bad guys, they know how to change the subject. And, you know, if they're a little spicier, a little saucier, maybe they'll start a new fake controversy or they'll pick a fight or something. Trump doesn't just do that like a normal politician. He doesn't pick something new to distract us. He picks something new to disgust us, to offend us, he does something abusive and damaging. And that calls on us not to just be distracted. That's a normal political tactic. No, when Trump does it because he's abusive and repulsive and hurtful, it calls on our conscience and demands that we not sit there silently and refuse to object. It calls on us to stand up and say no.
That's very similar That's very similar to the way that social media algorithms
Yes.
force engagement by giving you some things that are repulsive.
Yes.
So that you react.
So you feel like you can't just sit there and pretend it didn't happen. Your conscience, which is a good thing, your sense of decency, which is a good thing, calls on you to engage in it and denounce it. And Trump doesn't care that it's bad press. He doesn't care that this has been, this has been exposed as both a lie and as something that he got from the Nazis, right? He doesn't care. As long as we're talking about this thing now, he feels like he's won. And that's why it's really corrosive to us as a country. I mean, in general, I think don't play requests. Don't do things that he wants you to do. Don't cover topics that he wants you to cover. But also don't give up on your conscience and don't give up on your sense of decency. That really does require us to denounce these things.
We have to take another break here, but be right back with more Rachel Maddow, everybody. Do not go anywhere.